Hello, hello. We are back. I'm Lisa Petrick. We are with the famous Jay Taylor.
So like suicide rates are, they go up with young people.
Yeah.
Like young people. It's like not a thing before.
Right.
Like if you go back like 200 years, there's not like a lot of
I think
11-year-olds.
50 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know all the dates, but it's not good.
Yeah.
And so why is that happening? Well, I think that part of it is that when we're scrolling, on Instagram or something, or TikTok when you're 13 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're just, people say, well, it's about the body images, and people, they're seeing people and they don't look like this, and I think that's a thing.
I think that's a small percentage.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
But I think the more important thing is this is replacing self-expression. It's replacing time to process. When I was a kid, like video games became a thing at some point, but there were years of my early life where it was just a very low tech
Yeah. Go play outside.
world.
Use a stick as a gun. That's
Yeah.
what my brothers and I used to do.
Yeah. Just go outside, ride
Yeah.
your bike, and
Be
that
creative.
that is a way of processing
Yeah.
what's going on in your life. So like depression.
I'm gonna pause you for a second.
Yeah.
I also think it's that the bullies now have access to us. Because when I used to get off the school bus,
Yeah.
I was safe at home, and my bullies couldn't pick on me at home.
Oh yeah.
And now social media, your bullies can make fake accounts and pick on you, or direct accounts and pick on you, or post things that are talking
Sure.
about you. So I think that's really amping up
Mhm.
how the uncomfortableness of being a kid is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's challenging. And
I'll never forget my bully following me home after the school bus and yelling at me in my front yard. I still remember that moment.
yeah.
So I can't imagine having people sliding into my DMs.
That's across the line, buddy.
Right? Yeah. it
Don't
was.
follow people home.
But I
But
knew
it's happening all the time now.
at the time that her dad was an alcoholic, and I knew that he was being mean to her.
Yeah.
And so I, even at that young of an age, was like, okay, I get that she's doing this to me because he's probably doing this to her.
Yeah.
And it's her retaliation because she was in, what is that? She was an addict at 11 years old. She was in rehab already because of just the way her house was.
Yeah.
So I understood that it wasn't about me, but I was the person that she chose.
Yeah.
Something about me triggered her, and so anyways, going back to that,
Yeah.
but I think that's part of why they can get to them easier.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors for sure.
I do want to jump in and say, I'm 42,
Yeah.
and I've always dated older, and in the last 2 years, I've been starting to receive, courtship from younger, and I have to say, dating men in their 20s and 30s is a completely different emotional experience. Even though they're younger, I feel like they're more able to express what they don't want. They're more comfortable asking me what I need versus the older generations. And I know people make fun of oh, he's so young, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but I'm finding that the younger generations are more open to talking about this kind of conversation.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've got any younger men in your life and you see the difference between your uncle and your dad and then the younger 20s
Yeah.
and 30s.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
You do,
the
okay.
generations are definitely
Intentionally, they're always different. Yeah.
There's a lot of opening up that's happened for sure.
Yeah. And I like that. I wish honestly that in grade school, and they will never do it, that there was an emotion class.
Well, that's kind of what we were with the email that I sent out
Yeah.
that you commented on the who taught you how to feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one of the things I've been talking about in my meditations, there's a big group, we sit down and I say, it's a heavy time in the world and people are feeling overwhelmed, and it's a good thing that we all had those trainings when we were in elementary school, how to feel our emotions, right? And people start laughing hysterically. And then I'll say, oh, you guys didn't have it? And they're like, no, I'm too old for that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, surely when you were in high school, you took the How to Feel How I'm Feeling 101 training, right? And they're like, no.
Right.
I'm like, well, I'm sure your families taught you how to appropriately feel your feelings, right? And people are just dying.
Right.
And it's so funny because it's true
Right.
that we didn't get that. Most people didn't get
No.
that. They did not have anyone guiding them.
In our society.
Sure.
In tribes, still in indigenous regions,
Sure.
they are.
Yeah.
But they're not run by corporate America.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm hopeful about is that there's more and more people coming to these meditation experiences,
Right.
and they're leaving understanding that they can meditate whenever they want. It's very simple to do.
Right.
Anybody can do it, and hopefully what starts to happen is that they begin to model that way of being to people in their families, people that they know, and modeling is the best way of teaching.
Yep.
So, we've given our kids all of this technology, all this access to stuff, and all of the dangers that come with that, but have we given them any more skills to deal with that? Probably not.
Yeah.
So, meditation, providing time for people to just reflect on their day, how they're feeling, this can open up a perspective, open up a possibility and an awareness.
I mean, even when I have trolls on TikTok and someone's like, "Oh, 42, you're like 52," I literally reply, "Who hurt you? Like, where did this? How am I triggering you?"
Yeah.
Because, I think people are just like amped up and wound up way too tight, and they just are spewing things that they really, I don't think, mean.
Yeah.
But they're just feeling self-neglect,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know how to name the emotion or take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And then it perpetuates it, and then their life likely goes downhill, because if you're in that vibration of negativity, I feel like you attract, unfortunately, negative situations in your life, because I'm not going to get that job, so you don't. Your mindfulness and your vibration are kind of pushing away the things that you deep down want, but you don't want to admit out loud. So it like alters your path in a sense. Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense.
Okay.
And again, it just it comes back to awareness.
Right.
And just recognizing how you're feeling
And how the other person is feeling too.
Yeah.
And being okay with them feeling things with you and about you, because it's not you.
Yeah.
Anything anyone is ever feeling, unless you're like maliciously like name calling them and like being, yucky, is usually not anything to do with you.
Right. It's tough to remember.
It isn't.
It is in a moment.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's where the reactivity comes in.
Right. Yes. The knee jerk.
So that's where the practice is
Yes.
too.
Well, and it's just like anything. You wouldn't wake up tomorrow and be like, "I'm gonna run a marathon today."
Sure.
I mean, there's, you got to start walking, and then you start jogging, and like there's all the layers to it. But I think people are like, "I'm gonna start meditating 20 minutes," and then they try it a few times, and they're like, "Oh, I'm hearing things," or "Oh, I heard a yawn," or "Someone barked," or whatever, and like something. Sorry, a dog.
Some person out there is barking.
And they just feel like they're failing at it, so they don't get any further with it.
Yeah.
And it's a practice. It's like anything else. You gotta like practice doing things, and then you get better at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It starts by just carving out the time. It could just be before bed.
I also think it starts with realizing that you deserve that time. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't have time for me. I have to do this job, and they want me to work these many hours and do all these projects, and then I have a husband or a wife, or I have these kids.
Yeah.
Like, I have to like self-negate to give to all these other buckets that I have." And it's like, I always use the airplane, like put your mask on first.
Yeah.
Like even if it's 30 minutes and you're hiding in the bathtub and you put in ear pods, and because I use an app to meditate, it's like vibrational noises.
Yeah.
And they suggest wearing the earphones and like
Binaural beats.
Yes. How do I say it?
Binaural.
Binaural.
Two sounds.
I've been saying bineal, and that's wrong. That's why I didn't say it. Binaural beats. Because that's, changing the vibration and, really relaxing. So if you could just even do that for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, for that, I would recommend, because if you type in binaural beats, there'll be like 80,000 things on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who any of these people are.
Right.
Like, here's 24 hours of alpha brain, whatever. But there's a guy.
I've used those.
Yeah. So there's a guy named Dr. Jeffrey Thompson.
Okay.
Who's been working clinically in San Diego with sound for 40 years.
I love it.
And he works. He's patented a lot of different technologies for working with the brain, and also retraining the nervous system to be able to more fluidly move between the different states.
That's a huge key we didn't touch about, but the central nervous system, like, you got to get that in check.
Well, what he says, again, 40 years of working with sound and patients, what he believes is that, or I guess what he knows from his experience.
Patience, like people, or patience, like the attribute. You said he's been working with patients.
Well, he has a clinic, so
okay,
he has,
patients, people. Okay.
Yeah. So what he says is that 100% of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual breakdowns are a result of a brain that is not functioning properly. And so what happens when the brain is not functioning properly is that the nervous system is not functioning properly, and all the subsequent systems. And so
Can I ask, do you think when we have cancer, it's because something is disordered in our body?
I mean, there's a lot of different things that people will...
What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I can only...
Let's call you on top. We can kind of... You don't want to answer that.
I mean, I can only share what some of the doctors that I follow talk about. So there's a guy named Dr. Zach Bush, who I would highly recommend checking out. Just a brilliant man. He worked on developing cancer drugs for a long time.
Okay.
He worked as a doula. He helping people to give birth. He worked as a death doula, helping people.
Being a death doula.
Yeah, helping people to pass. So he has like a very strong understanding of how we come into the world, how we leave, and how things break down over time. So one of the things he talks about is that cancer is a result of isolation. And so what happens is, through a variety of things that we're interacting with, one of the main culprits is glyphosate, which is in Roundup, which is what we use to spray on all of our GMO crops.
That we eat.
Yes. So this is actually a chemical that has origins in chemical weapons, because these companies, pharmaceutical companies, oftentimes historically were engineering different types of chemical weapons like Agent Orange.
Oh, yeah.
There's an isolation that's happening, and there's a chemical element of that through damage that's happening to things that we're ingesting and other things, and it's also an isolation that's happening societally, where people are becoming more and more isolated. We can barely agree on basic facts or truths. And so what he says is that a cell will become isolated, and it will think that it's dying because it's isolated, so it will start to reproduce endlessly, which is a mechanism of a cell, survival mechanism, to reproduce. So we see the proliferation of a cancer cell because it's an isolated cell, and it starts making more of itself, which then spreads. This is what he says, Dr. Zach Bush.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. There's that, but to go back to the Jeffrey Thompson talking about the brain and the dysfunction of the nervous system, we are stagnant in many cases, emotionally, right? As we've been talking about this whole time. We let things fester. We don't take time to feel. And what can happen is that we start to have disruption in our fluidity in terms of our brain state. So like moving between theta brainwave, alpha, beta.
I'm a certified hypnotherapist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm all into that.
Yeah.
Different states, yeah.
Yeah, so what happened, like when I was working as a teacher, I worked with students with disabilities for 10 years, a master's degree in that's what I was doing. Some of my most brilliant students had ADHD.
Yeah.
And
even autism, I find to be some of the most connective and like intelligent.
Yes.
We don't see it as intelligence because it looks different. Yes.
And so someone that has ADHD, they might be more stuck in an alpha brainwave state, like a flow state. They can create. So if I give you an assignment, we're gonna make a society from scratch. You have to come up with the laws. You have to come up with how people live. Okay, go ahead, create this. So the person with ADHD is like, great, let's go. And they're just drawing things and like just with so much energy and excitement.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, now that you've completed this, I want you to take your ideas and I want you to put it into 3 paragraphs.
Right.
And it's like, I'm gonna throw this chair at you now.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So what's happening? There is a breakdown in the brain's fluidity to move to a different space.
Yeah.
Okay? And this happens to us through chronic stress. We lose the ability to move between these different states. Like, this idea that I have like writer's block. Well, what is that? Well, I think it's you're stuck in a certain state and you're having trouble moving into that other state. So meditation, binaural beats, Dr. Jeffrey Thompson's binaural beats, this is helpful. He calls it like a workout for the brain.
Okay.
So you're retraining your brain to be able to move to these different states.
Interesting.
And through that practice, through that meditative practice, the brain starts to, again, become more fluid, and then the nervous system starts to become more fluid. Like if you're not sleeping well at night, there's probably a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that you're struggling to move into certain states of the brain. So
Yes.
like a deep delta where all this repair is happening in the body. In order to get there, you have to be relaxed. Because from a survival standpoint, if you're in a state of stress, you're communicating to the system, we're in danger.
Right.
But the stress could be from a press conference that you watched on the news that made you really stressed out, and now your body thinks that there's like a lion stalking you. So when you go to
Right.
sleep at night, you're kind of like
Right.
one
Looking at a
eye
lion, yeah.
one eye open.
Right.
So again, developing that fluidity.
Yes. And I agree with everything. That sounds spot on. From my experience with hypnosis clients that come to me for ADHD,
Yeah.
I find that they are always in career paths that have nothing to do with what they ever wanted to do.
Okay.
And their body has just gotten to the point where they can't physically do their job or their responsibilities because they really want to be like a circus performer. That's not a real story, but like they want to be something in a completely different
Yeah.
field, and usually more artistic, like a writer,
Yeah.
performer, but they're an accountant or an HR, and they're like, I have this job, and I'm like, yeah, but your soul wants you to do something that's like fluid and artistic and
Yeah.
like adds value, and like, because they're like, well, actors work, my hobby is writing, and I just get lost in it. I'm like, well, why don't you become a writer? Well, I can't. I shouldn't. I have this job, you know. And
Yeah.
I think people like pigeonhole themselves, and their soul is screaming via ADHD that
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing this. I want to be over here.
Yeah.
But how you're explaining it makes sense too.
Yeah, that's a tough place
Both
to
can
be.
be true.
It's a tough place to be
Yeah.
where you're kind of on a path that you
Right.
start to recognize is not in alignment.
Right.
And I really do believe that everybody is here to share specific gifts.
Totally.
And we've just developed a system that does not foster a
Right.
lot of those gifts.
Yeah.
And so,
That was done to us intentionally, sadly.
yeah.
So, should we end it on that note?
Can I share some like
I would love
upcoming
it.
stuff?
Please, yes. I was going to ask.
All right.
Your socials and whatever, and
Yeah. So the
'cause this will
easiest
go on Friday.
Okay, yeah, the easiest way to find me is at currentvibrations.com. And the same is on the social media things, Current Vibrations. But I am offering a lot of opportunities to come out for sound meditation experiences. I play at a lot of different places around the city and the suburbs. Probably the most notable would be Chicago Botanic Garden, Morton Arboretum. I'm doing a free series at the Harold Washington Library.
Amazing.
In their
It's gorgeous.
in the atrium on the 9th floor. So there's one coming up there in some weeks. But there's a bunch of things. And I try to do as much as accessible programming as possible. Free stuff or reduced price stuff. And yeah, also on my website there are 6 albums worth of music. All of it's free as well.
Oh,
So
I
you-
didn't know that. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So you can just go to currentvibrations.com in the recording sections, and you can listen to that. And a lot of it, or all of it, is intended to support in meditation, and some of it you might find to be helpful for
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, also, if you're interested in expressing yourself through instruments,
Ooh.
so I partnered in 2020 with the Ahimsa Yoga Studios, and so in 3 of their locations, in Evanston, Wicker Park, and Oak Park, there's a retail space that I manage and curate of all different types of kind of healing type instruments, singing bowls and flutes and drums
Cool.
and stuff like that. And so that's an appointment only type thing, but you can find more on the website. And I also offer trainings as well.
Amazing.
So-
In what kind of space?
In our Evanston location.
But like
uh,
what field?
yeah,
Sorry.
the training, the first level training is called Foundations in Vibration, which is in November 1st and 15th in the afternoon, and that's all about empowering people to express themselves through instruments and to develop a personal meditation practice through that expression.
Amazing.
So we get into the science of sound, we do all kinds of experiments, we learn how to play the crystal singing bowls.
Would that be hard to do over Zoom?
It's an in-person class.
Okay, because a lot of these folks aren't.
Where are you?
They're not local.
You got to come in.
We're shipping you to Chicago.
Yeah. But maybe, if you've got enough people, I'll come to you.
Oh,
How about
okay.
that?
I love that.
Yeah. Get 10 people together, I'll fly to Dallas and we'll do one.
Okay, I love that. I'm coming too if that happens.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much.
Of course, yeah.
Jay Taylor. This to me has been everything and then some. Like, I have been a big fan of yours for years, and I love how you explain everything, and you taught me some things that I didn't even know, so thank you for that. But it's been lovely. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm going to link your website below in the description box. Is there anything else I should link? Just the website? I guess your socials.
Yeah, you could also do...
Do you have an email?
Yeah, it's just currentvibrations@gmail.com. But you could also put the link to Ahimsa School of Sound Healing.com, which is where they can learn more about the trainings and the instruments.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks so much, guys, and have a beautiful and blessed day.